all right? But one of the most valuable things that has happened is when it stopped working for me and I got thoroughly frustrated. It stopped working. It would work for me for a while. It'd be like everything is like I've got the magic bullet. And it was always valuable to realize I had to let this go, at least the way I'm approaching it, with an expectation. Because the expectation, like I said, you have an expectation something's going to show up. Now you've just eliminated everything else that can show up. And whatever structure we're working in the language of price, it's part of the whole. It's like this is a little ripple in an ocean. And there's more to it. So it's valuable to have your expectations busted. Why is it valuable? It gives you this little give up, right? You give up trying. First you go through a period of trying. Anybody ever do that? Right? You learn some technique. It could be fibs, could be anything. And you go through a period and it's working great and then not so great. And then you're really trying to make it work, right? You're really trying to make it work. And it just keeps frustrating you until you finally give up. And at that point, it actually starts working for you again. So it's one of the interesting dynamics in trading. One of the interesting dynamics. You guys know what I'm talking about with that? Or I know it's happened to everybody in some form, whether you've recognized it or not. Good. I just keep that in mind because it is valuable. And we do seem to need to go through, I guess it's like a boom and bust cycle. We do seem to need to go through those cycles. But, we can do them a little quicker. All right, we can do them a little quicker. Like something happens to our vision. Just while we have this up, all right, just while we have this up really quick, let's look at it. It's landing into a swing level press. Okay, after a new high, the swing's a little bigger. It drops pretty hard, right? Boom. Now, since we are studying swings, let me get rid of some of this stuff. All right, since we are studying swings, that means, every part of the swing. So let's consider this, right? Right now, it's a reaction, all right? But if it keeps going, it will be an impulse. But let's look at the structure of this right now. Let's put the whole thing together. It's kind of like what it did here. See where it just kind of going straight up mostly until it gets here. Right, it's kind of going straight up mostly until it gets here. It starts from a certain place. Okay, it starts from a certain place. This is in a different position. This is in a different position. Okay. It's not straight up, but it's got this steady, ever since it did this, it's got this steady like this. All right, so let's get curious now. It's about to run into some sellers here someplace. Let's get curious of what might happen to any drop and where it might fall into. Just read the bars. Like if this thing actually decides to make a little swing, let's watch and see where this thing might fall into. So I want you guys to watch with me. Let's just read this price action with me. And we'll get to our lessons. Because we always want to be curious. We always want to learn. So let me add a little room on this. Okay. Get rid of everything. Get a feel for this. All right, we're dancing around some lows. We start to drop hard, wide range bar, drop, boom. Wide range bar beats the last wide range bar. Interesting, right? So all of a sudden, these two bars are really big compared to everything else. A little bit of a tail. It's running into sellers. You could tell where it's the candles can even help you see that. You guys see that tail and then the hard up, right? It's swapped from sellers in this smush to buyers. No guesswork. Nice, right? No guesswork. It's nice, right? It's nice when you can see it, isn't it, Grace? Isn't it nice that you can read it? That's what makes it nice. It's kind of interesting that you can actually read the actual transition. It's kind of cool. Yeah. And so when I see that in this kind of transition, I can also see the next place it's going to run in. See the tails? You can see the next place it's going to run in as the levels grow, as this thing expands a little bit. So as I start to see that, I know there was a buyer-seller swap here. And this is where I start to think of, if I'm adding this whole picture into something like this, I start to think, oh, you know what? I can catch a pullback along these buyers. Just from reading those few little bars, just 2 bars picked it out for me. Like that. See, just this kind of price reading, this kind of seeing, it is nice, right? It's sexy. All right. Now, you see the tails down, they're pushing up, and sort of mirror bars, right? They're running into these guys, and sometimes the candles help. Right? The wicks of the candles just help you see. So this is where I'm actually starting to contemplate planning orders to get long. Where? Well, up to the next major area up here. I can think about something like this. I can get like this, and just look, right? It's not much of a it's a 3-to-1 trade with a 20-tick stop just from here to here. They stack them. Okay, they stack them. So this would be the something to break, something to fall into on maybe a smaller tick chart that you might be looking at, right? Just like the Euro Phil says, all right, you're watching the Euro too, right? You get that? See that in the bars, in the bar work? Do you see it? Because I know you always watch that price comes up, goes, makes a little shelf, goes boom, boom, and then gaps into that one, boom, something to break. Bait, right? It's a bait on a little area. So you can think about using this as a confirmation on a bar level. So you can use it as a big play, or you can use it as a bar level to get in this whoosh kind of a thing here. But either way, we're reading it. Either way, we're reading it, meaning, all right, we kind of get in tune with it. And it goes up, and look at them, they're just stacking them. So we're reading it. And now we're here. Okay, so if this guy was to take any kind of a nosedive, you start to think, all right, where might I see some peoples? Where might I see some people to buy this thing? What would the bait look like? And sometimes this is easier, sometimes not. But I still kind of like this. Although that's kind of big, but on another level, we also have these tails, right? And these guys. So let's see if a small bait lands in here. And now, by the way, do you see how all right, so check this out. Do you see how we found sellers via this tail here? Sellers via that tail right there. And then zoom, right? Zoom. What got zoomed? These guys got zoomed. Well, guess what that means? This is related to swing work. This means that's a swing. Okay? Yeah, right, Raj, you got it. You got it. So we can find swings within swings. So this would actually be like, maybe this is one swing, maybe this is the minor of that one swing. And maybe this is the minor of this whole thing here. Just like that. Boom, 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 half, half, half. Okay. So for the purposes of catching, say, a little bait, you might want to come in here and look at this and consider maybe, okay, maybe along in this neighborhood someplace. Or, you know, we can take it from here and say we haven't finished going up yet. Maybe we go up this high. So I didn't intend on doing this, but this is fun. You guys see all the tails here? See all the tails? See all the buyers? You know, get one of these guys to get zoomed. So this is on a very small level. This is buyers and sellers, and they're holding. And this might actually become part of a swing. Okay. So that's a little price action reading there. Now, you can see I'm looking at the same thing in the YM, same kind of thing, right? See it? Look, it's just nice, easy breezy looking. It doesn't mean there aren't trades involved, but you know, I'm watching it. So it becomes a marker. Okay, this is a follow-up to the clip from the earlier live session where we worked this Aussie live. I mainly wanted to clip this out and share it for the talk about expectations, but also for the price action and the swing work we were doing. It was just a small clip of what we did that day, and I want to follow it up, see how it turned out, because we were working something live here. And we talk a lot about swings, and it's easy to see these swings here. You see the swing, swing, swing. And we're going a little deeper in that where you find sellers that were in control, as you saw in the earlier clip, you find sellers that were in control. Right, see, sellers, 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 zoom, they swapped right here. This becomes a swing, a subtle swing. And coming off the bottom here, we were able to gauge an entry into this market. And so this is how it turned out. So you can see also how the swings, the swing length, can grow as each group of sellers get beat. So in a sense, this is, say, a minor swing. This is your next major swing. It's the next group of controlling sellers. And so later on that night, Aussie pulls back, offers a nice entry, and you can go back to the earlier clip. I'm not going to redo it, where we walked it through. Right, see, this is swings, swinging. This is swings, swinging. And so notice that this is the birth of this whole leg, right? It's a birth of the whole leg. And so the swings tend to grow. And so later on, you can consider that the next level might be something like this, as swings open themselves up a little bit. And the main thing about reading that price action wasn't the technical aspect. If you walk through that video, you see how we took our time. It absolutely put us in touch with this market, focused us, it connected us to this market and its rhythms. It's a lot different than just pasting over a technique. And so I want you to see that aspect in it as well. And how did this entry later turn out? Well, it's just a matter of going swing to swing so you can watch. And that's current, and that's Sunday. That's today. So one of the little subtleties I was highlighting is how price can go up and then, you know, start to change its slope a little bit, and that becomes a swing just because this is where buyers started. Now, one of the other markets we did that day was the YM. So let's follow that up. You can see I was looking at a YM 7-minute, and we were doing the session somewhere around here. So you can see this is not getting all uptight. Oh my God, I got to get my trade. We're doing some work, and this is mainly about swing work, how it goes straight up and like this. And so this neighborhood becomes a swing low. You can see as price climbs, and then eventually just get used to how price works, right? Climbs, it's floating, and scares everybody out. So this ends up being a little bit closer like this. And that's with just understanding structures. Okay, that's just understanding structures. So I wanted to share a little bit about what we do in the live sessions, along with some interesting lessons. There it is. About swings and how to begin to see the essence of them.